In this video, we will discuss the ongoing battle on crypto and the bizarre IRS situation that has resurfaced the major issue from 2023, Operation Choke Point 2.2.0. In this video, we will cover a lot of ground, so let's begin. Let me introduce myself. My name is Nick, and I will be discussing this DeFi immediately. One of the largest elements in this region is the DeFi token, which is tied to nearly $147 billion by DeFi. In just one day, I was able to trade commodities valued more than $10 billion. We haven't even scratched the surface of the DeFi projects yet, and some of them are among the most massive undertakings in the industry. Despite being one of the most significant DeFi projects, Ethereum is completely absent from this website. As an alternative, let's look at DeFi Llama, over 120 billion USD in locked value, 205 billion USD in strong coins in the DeFi region, 5 billion USD in trade volume in the previous 24 hours, and over 106 billion USD in. With a combined value of $140 billion in TVL, the biggest DeFi chains are linked to more than 1,262 DeFi protocols. This demonstrates the massive size of the DeFi market. It constitutes the largest portion of this entire space, and DeFi is beloved by all. Why? We can become our own bank, earn passive income, and achieve financial independence with decentralized finance, which is why I believe it is guiding us in that way. The current issue is that DeFi is being targeted along with a large portion of this market. Story after story, there isn't necessarily a happy ending. This is an actual issue, not only clickbait. When it comes to decentralized exchanges, Uniswap and SushiSwap are two of the largest DEX jobs. We have a firm grasp on the nature of pancake swappers. While other DEX tokens such as Radium, Solana, and Juniper deserve discussion, two of the longest running ones are Uniswap and SushiSwap. Uniswap was a major project in 2020 and 2021, and airdrop distributed tokens worth about $25,000 around campus, which is insane. Looking at it from this angle, though, Uniswap is still massively popular today, just not quite as much as it once was. It may have generated a lot of interest in 2021, but it remains a crucial undertaking in the field. We can take the years of attacks on SushiSwap, so it has kind of died down. However, I digress. Let us return to 2023 and revisit my remarks regarding SushiSwap and its CEO, Jared Gray. As part of its regulatory crackdown on cryptocurrency, the SEC served a subpoena on DEX last week, which has left DEX's CEO feeling uninspired. The months of March 2020 and 2023 are up next. What the hey? It wasn't just conventional banks that were collapsing either. Actually, it was the more established crypto banks that were essentially compelled to close their doors. They were left with no alternative but to do so. Now is the time to consider the debanking of cryptocurrency that is also taking place in the United States. But why was DeFi, decentralized finance, being singled out? Since we were here in April of the CR, we are aware that DeFi is still a target. The SEC sold a Wells-observed to Uniswap Labs. The current CEO of Uniswap, Hayden Adams, is the one who has sent this mail. What I am is irritated, unhappy, and prepared to fight, not shocked. I have no doubt that the products we offered were actually jails, and that our efforts had a proper historical context. However, the SEC's unwillingness to engage in the process of developing clean, informed roles has been apparent for some time. Rather, they intend to punish Uniswap and Coinbase, two companies with solid track records, while they let FTX off the hook. My original goal in creating Uniswap was not to revolutionize the financial industry, but rather to explore the feasibility of completely decentralized on-chain markets. I have no idea how well it would function or whether anyone would actually use it. As of right now, the Uniswap protocol has processed transactions worth more than $2 trillion. By allowing others to fork or build upon our technology, we have established a new, open, secure, and user-friendly financial system that underpins a whole sector. From our headquarters in New York City, the Uniswap team accomplished all of this in the United States. My response to the question of why we remain in the United States is straightforward. I think blockchain is pretty powerful, and the internet isn't going anywhere, so we have the potential to be the one who finally figures it out. Even when you develop life-improving innovation, it's important to remember that the SEC's mission is to safeguard investors, maintain orderly markets, and facilitate the launch of new companies. You have taken on an excellent assignment. In comparison to the SEC, Uniswap is far more effective at this task these days. It annoys me that the SEC is more concerned about safeguarding OPEC systems. In order to defend consumers, we must take on a U.S. government agency that is out to destroy both our firm and theirs. Eventually, this dispute may reach the highest court in the land, where it could linger for years. Without unity, our companies and the economy's futures are in jeopardy. I think it's important to stand up for freedom and DeFi, and we obviously can't halt delivery. Be on the lookout. April of this year saw a repeat performance. All right, it appears like DeFi is still being targeted. This is the second article I've written about it. The first was in April. In the article, I stated, there's no doubt why we're seeing DeFi being attacked, but I said right here, let or not, it's acknowledged that the SEC is focused on software off custody and defies an entire. The Wells No Sushi change was the first, followed by Uniswap, and now MetaMask is getting some attention as well. Also, Coinbase Wallet is an unlicensed dealer, according to the SEC. If you were asking, Nick, how will the SEC and their actions play out in 2024 and 2023, then you should know that this is major news. They must deal with the IRS in what way? We will address that shortly. The broken kind of the standard they've been pushing is the big concern here. My primary concern is with DeFi and self-custody, but I get what you're saying about Ethan's concentration. Imagine the havoc they could wreak if they zeroed in on the cold storage companies that are still part of the game. The extent to which the SEC is attempting to harm this sector should become clear after reading this. We can state with certainty that, as an example, Operation Choke Factor 2.0 extends beyond the FDIC. This was discovered in the start of December, and banks have been instructed to cease crypto activity, according to breaking FDIC memos. It is our sincere request that you immediately cease any hobby operation involving the 2.2.0 choke point that is being revealed in real time. Despite the continued interest, no changes have been made, and the situation is far from improved. Attacks against cryptocurrency continue. Paul Groh from Coinbase writes this. As regards to our FOIA request concerning the stop letters it sent to financial institutions as part of Operation Choke Point 2.2.0, to sum up, the contents constitute an egregious illustration of a government agency's endeavor to obstruct the economic access of legitimate American enterprises. We have identified over 20 instances when the FDIC has instructed financial institutions to temporarily suspend, discontinue, or otherwise cease providing crypto banking services. Instead of keeping its actions under wraps, the FDIC should be transparent with the public. Behind the bureaucratic curtain, the complete letters are still a mystery, but today's findings provide significant clues. Take a look at it independently. Meanwhile, we will persist in pursuing openness from our regulators by means of Freedom of Information Act requests and other appropriate channels. As you can see, we're about to give up on the November wave if we jump forward to November. Just recently, CTO David Schwartz became one of several IT founders who have spoken out against the government's Operation Choke Point 2.2.0 and have called on people to speak out now. The long-standing regulations and rules have all been preparing for this moment. Operation Choke Point 2.2.0, the origin story is available over at Stewart RRT, for instance. The fatal ripple was caused in 2012 when the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC, the Office of Comptroller of the Currency, OCC, and the Federal Reserve utilized banks as a tool to combat unsavory enterprises such as payday lenders and others. An updated name for this was Operation Choke Point 2.2.0.